The excerpt I'm going to read is from an early letter that Herschel writes to his German lawyer who's been appointed to represent him in the upcoming show trial the Nazis are going to put on. And Herschel is as yet unsure of who this guy really is. He calls him Maitre, M-A-I-T-R-E, which is the French title that's used to address lawyers, because that was what he became used to in jail in Paris while he was addressing his lawyers there. He's not used to writing, he's very cautious, but he begins describing the summer of 1938, right before the shooting, and the kind of desperation that was building in him that led up to the shooting. There's a reference in the excerpt to the Evian conference, which is a conference that was held in Evian, France, called by Franklin Delano Roosevelt and Churchill and others to try to deal with the incredible refugee crisis in Europe at the time, eerily similar to the conferences being called now in Europe to deal with the current refugee crisis. Unfortunately, not much happened out of the Evian conference, as not much seems to be happening out of the conferences in the EU. But this is the summer of 1938 he's describing. There was a bit of hope during that summer. They cleaned the river, pulled out the bodies, which made the city seem less grim, and somehow, I don't know how else to describe it, Maître, less congested. Also, there was to be Evian, the conference there, about us refugees, a hope that something would be done. A wasteful emotion, hope. The République, the French state, had its decrees, a flood of them that spring and summer. Decree, no new entries into France. Decree, no extending of residence permits. Decree, no more work permits. Decree, anyone with wrong or expired documents to be jailed, then thrown out from the country. And if caught again, 3 years in prison, and then thrown out. Whatever the question, the answer was no. Suddenly, the piece workers in the work sheds and ateliers all over Paris were now being turned out of their jobs. Also, thousands of new deporting orders, and more arrests every day. Many people went into hiding, and worse. The boy Sam that I knew, he had a friend, Eli. Sam showed him to me that spring, floating in the river. His body stuck between two barges. Somehow his cap still gripped in his hand. After a winter on the streets, sometimes starving, sometimes freezing, he had found work, Eli, in a leather-making place, tanning hides over by La Villette, the slaughterhouses there. 2 weeks later, there was another decree, I cannot remember which one now, and the leather workshop put him out. The next day, he jumped into the Seine. Not the only one, Maître. Some of them just floated away, and we never saw them again. But many, like Eli, got caught on branches growing from the banks, or on boat lines, and washed back and forth, half sinking, surfacing, up and down, over and over. Whenever I passed by the river, I tried not to look down.